Students' protest as bid to screen BBC Modi film is blocked, several detained. Showdown also at Madras and Jadavpur University. Sensational revelations in Praveen Nataru murder charge sheet. Nataru's murder was a revenge killing. PFI targeted Hindu activists. BRS MLC's abusive remark against Telangana governor questions delay in passing of bill by the governor. Argument breaks out on stage between Karnataka Seer and Chief Minister Bommai. Seer alleges Netas make hollow promises. Bommai hits back, says, once I promise, I ensure work is done. Rahul cancels his Bharat Jodo Yatra walk after alleged security lapse, calls it collapse of police system. Jammu and Kashmir cops counter, say they were not consulted before the Yatra halted. Adani Group stock face a meltdown on Dalal Street. 4 lakh crore rupees wiped out in just 2 days. 6 of the 10 group shares hit the lower circuit. Adani Enterprises, whose FPO opened today, has its share trading below the floor price. All right, viewers, let's get you the latest with the governor versus BRS, where Telangana is concerned. The rift between the Telangana Chief Minister KCR and the governor, Tamilisai Sundarajan, has widened after the former skipped flag hoisting celebrations at Raj Bhavan on Republic Day. Instead, Chief Minister KCR unfurled the national flag at the Chief Minister's office and residence Pragati Bhavan. Here's the full report.
ఏ రాజ్యాంగము ఈ గవర్నర్ పాటిస్తుంది అని చెప్పి నేను అడుగుతా ఉన్నా. అసెంబ్లీలో కౌన్సిల్లో పాస్ చేసిన బిల్లులని ఇప్పటిదాకా గవర్నర్ కింద పెట్టుకొని ఆ ఫైల్ ఎందుకు కూర్చుంటుందని నేను అడుగుతా ఉన్నా. జవాబు చెప్పు.
A vulgar, vicious attack on the Telangana governor by a ruling BRS party leader. The ugly words in the wake of the latest flashpoint between KCR and the Raj Bhavan.
They did not follow the SOP.
This was where things actually exploded on Republic Day at the governor's residence, with Telangana's governor Tamilisai Sundarajan hoisting the national flag. Tellingly, without Chief Minister KCR in attendance. And that was because the Telangana Chief Minister was deliberately cold-shouldering the governor, choosing instead to mark Republic Day elsewhere, practically cocking a snook at the Raj Bhavan by doing so. A particularly sharp show of defiance, given that KCR's government recently faced a setback in court after its plea not to hold a full-fledged Republic Day parade was shot down, with the court issuing instructions to the Chief Minister to follow ceremonial protocol. And yet, KCR said nothing doing and stayed away. The angry governor has expectedly hit out.
புதுசா புறக்கணிச்சறன பரவாயில்ல. புறக்கணிக்கிறதுன்றது அங்கே சாதாரணமாகவே அது பழக்கமாகவே போயிடுச்சு. அதனால் எனக்கு அது ஒன்றும் புதுமையாக தெரியல. ஆனால் ஒன்று வெற்றி என்னென்னா, அங்கே உள்ள அரசாங்கம் நிச்சயமாகவே இந்த குடியரசு தின விழாவை ஒரு குறைத்து மதிப்பிட்டு அரசாங்க விழாவாக நடத்தாமல், அரசாங்கத்திலேருந்து எந்த அறிவிப்பும் வராமல், அவங்களும் எங்கேயும் கொடியேற்றாமல்.
But KCR's newly rebranded BRS party is in no mood to be defensive, and that perhaps explains this slow attack by an elected representative.
ఏ రాజ్యాంగము ఈ గవర్నర్ పాటిస్తుంది అని చెప్పి నేను అడుగుతా ఉన్నా. అసెంబ్లీలో కౌన్సిల్లో పాస్ చేసిన బిల్లులని ఇప్పటిదాకా గవర్నర్ కింద పెట్టుకొని ఆ ఫైల్ ఎందుకు కూర్చుంటుందని నేను అడుగుతా ఉన్నా. జవాబు చెప్పు.
Relations between the governor and chief minister have been indifferent at best and totally turbulent at worst. Ever since the former BJP leader from Tamil Nadu was appointed governor of Telangana in 2019, frictions have prevailed, with the governor constantly pointing a finger of protocol violation at the chief minister, and KCR alleging interference from the Raj Bhavan. With Telangana set to go to polls later this year and KCR attempting a national alliance against the BJP, you can count on this flashpoint intensifying in the weeks and months ahead. With Abdul Bashir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
The fact is, viewers, this new face-off is not sudden. There's been enough build-up to it. And I want to bring in my colleague Abdul Bashir, who's joining us live from Hyderabad, to talk us through the many confrontations that has led to this massive face-off on Republic Day. Abdul, what more can you add? Because clearly, the Chief Minister facing off with the governor, the entire face-off has been brewing for many instances that have come in, which has led up to this particular event.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not the first time that we see a face-off between Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and also Telangana Governor Tamilisai Soundararajan. This is not the first time. But there had been several instances in quite some time from now that in several occasions the governor had been alleging that CM has been violating protocol. And there had been several allegations against the governor as well, where as we have just heard the BRS MLC stating that several bills that have been passed in the assembly and the council of the state are still pending with the governor. So governor is not acting or passing these bills even after they have been approved. I mean, they have been passed in the house, but have not been approved by the governor. So these are the allegations and counter allegations that had been there from quite some time now. But this yesterday's face-off, the Republic Day face-off that we have seen, that 2 months ago the governor had sent a letter asking for asking for the state government to organize a parade, an official the ceremonial parade with the public participation on a grand mode. But there was no response from the state government side. That is what the governor sources have stated. So after that, now that we see yesterday, the preparations were done at the Republic, at the Raj Bhavan. The Republic Day celebrations were held at the Raj Bhavan, and the Chief Minister had not participated. Instead, he had organized a separate event at the Pragati Bhavan where he had unfurled the national flag and then paid tribute to Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So these instances that we see, and also yesterday evening the at-home fete that has been organized, that will be hosted every year by the Telangana Governor Tamilisai Soundararajan. From the past 2 years, the Chief Minister had skipped this at home. He has not made himself present at these events. But this clearly shows that how Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has clear on his stand against the BJP and also the governor here. So
well,
with
that's
the allegation
what we're witnessing right now in Telangana is not the first. Many instances in Telangana, but not just Telangana, viewers. Practically every state which is run by the opposition is witnessing a face-off between the governor and the government there. I want to now quickly shift focus to the other big developing political story. During a public event at Mahadevpura in Bengaluru, the Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai lost his cool, snatching the mic from a seer who was seated right next to him. Why did he do it? Take a look.
A direct to-the-point question that many in Bengaluru would agree with, prompting this response from Chief Minister Bommai. This dramatic exchange between a seer and the Chief Minister has gone viral, making headlines in Karnataka. As the seer publicly called out the CM for not helping Bengalurians, the Chief Minister refused to let it pass. Watch this.
ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಯೋಜನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕಾಮಗಾರಿ ನಡೆದಿದೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಹಿಂದಿನವರಂಗೆ ಭರವಸೆ ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೇನಿದೆ, ನನಗೆ ಯಾರ್ದು ಭಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಮಾದೇವಪುರ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷ, ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ.
This heated exchange has put the focus again on the poor infrastructure in Bengaluru. And ahead of the polls, the BJP has been forced to face an embarrassing reality that Bengalurians have had enough.
I think that should not be blown out of proportions. It was only to express his opinion, to say that he was just not making promises. He was also working on acting on it. So that was the scenario which took place on the dais on that day.
From pay CM to the 40% commission row, and now this. The BJP is facing a wave of anti-incumbency that it will have to tide over, including questions on what the party has done to better the civic mess in Bengaluru. Bureau Report, India Today.
Quickly getting in Annaga Keshav to decode what was seemingly, Annaga, a politically incorrect move by the Chief Minister of getting very angry and on stage snatching the mic from the Seer. What could be the political implications when the state of Karnataka is just less than, 2.5 months away from elections?
Absolutely, Preeti. And also, if you think about it, there is some truth to what the Seer is saying. Even here in Bengaluru, even if there is one night's rain, I can see the potholes resurfacing. I can see the roads coming out. There is
community does the Seer represent?
Infrastructure. Could you repeat?
What community does the Seer represent?
The Seer is from the Lingayat community, we're being told, and he has made this statement. And there is some truth to what he's saying. We can't outright deny what he's saying. And this is when Basavaraj Bommai, he jumped on to defend himself. And if you take a look at the video closely, it is debatable if he has snatched the video because the Chief Minister has asked his permission before taking away the mic. So that aspect is a bit debatable, but there is truth to what the Seer is saying. Because there is a lot of infrastructure issues. The BBMP is not taking good care of it. We at India Today have also been reporting about the infrastructural mess that happens. And when there is a rain, God save Bengaluru. So there is truth to what the Seer is saying, and the Chief Minister has to respond to it. Just saying that he has made budget allocation is not the answer, because on ground there is no work being done.
All right, Annaga, appreciate you joining us, because viewers, what's really interesting in all of this is, and I'm really sorry to put it out as it is that this particular Seer represents a very highly politically influential Lingayat community. How does it go down when one reads it politically speaking? A lot more than just, or rather a lot deeper than just the potholes where Bengaluru is concerned. But trust India Today to keep the spotlight on the story. There will be repercussions political of what has gone down. No, the Chief Minister did not snatch the mic, but he clearly seemed perturbed as he leaned forward and practically took the mic from the Seer. With that, shifting focus to huge developments that are coming in from Delhi. It seems it's students versus the government. The storm over the BBC Modi documentary has now engulfed India's university campuses. From Delhi to Chennai to Kolkata, students on a warpath as university administrations try to block the screening of the film. In Delhi, it started with JNU, it went on to Jamia, and now at Delhi University's arts faculty. Students were detained, dragged as they tried to watch the documentary.
Azadi slogans versus Jai Shri Ram slogans. Clashes. And protest after protest. The row over BBC documentary on Prime Minister Modi is escalating. After JNU, Jamia, Jadavpur, Hyderabad and other universities, a showdown broke out in Delhi's Ambedkar University. The left workers planned to screen the controversial documentary, but just before that the power went off. A repeat of JNU. Power off, protests on. Azadi slogans were raised, and soon after, Jai Shri Ram slogans were chanted in retaliation.
At Ambedkar University right now, it's a complete showdown between the two ideologies. On one side, you have the left-leaning organizations such as SFI and ISA sloganeering against the Ambedkar University's administration's attempt to stop the screening of the BBC's controversial documentary. So they are raising slogans such as Azadi and Halla Bol, and on the other side are the right-wing student groups who are raising Jai Shri Ram slogans in response to the protest of the left-leaning organization. So clearly a political dangle, an ideological dangle at Ambedkar University.
Initially, when we started the screening, the administration, they came here, the proctor came and he announced basically, he threatened the students that this documentary won't be screened here. We bought a projector to screen it, but the electricity was cut off.
Security was deployed within campuses like the Ambedkar University to ensure no untoward incident took place.
देखिए ये इलाके में पीस ट्रैंक्विलिटी मेंटेन करना हमारी पुलिस की जिम्मेदारी है, उसी लिहाज से जा रहे हैं हम अंदर। नो, अभी तक मुझे कोई नहीं आया।
Not just Delhi, screenings are happening across the country, and it's increasingly turning violent. The cadre of the Grand Old Party and Saffron Party clashed in Thiruvananthapuram after a BJP worker tried to tear the screen and disrupt the film screening. Similar scenes were seen in Hyderabad on Thursday, where SFI clashed with ABVP workers. The political war is also at its peak.
Narendra Modi and his past have been tainted. The people of India very much know that. Maybe to the Westerners and to the international community, this is a new revelation. He was completely complicit, completely in connivance with the rioters while he was the chief minister.
पाकिस्तान स्पॉन्सर्ड जो बीबीसी एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री चल रही है जिसकी निंदा की गई हर तरफ, उसको फिर से उन्होंने दिखाया है केरल की बीच पे। ये साफ दिखा रहा है कि राहुल गांधी जो भारत जोड़ो यात्रा पे निकले हैं वो भारत जोड़ो नहीं है, भारत तोड़ो यात्रा है।
The controversy over the BBC Modi documentary continues to snowball, and university campuses have now become the site of endless protest and politics. With Abdul Bashir in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
I'm going to move on to a story which seems, more in terms of a business perspective, but has deep political implications as well. Let me take you through that. Now, the Adani Group shares wreaked havoc at Dalal Street today. Viewers pulling the rug under the benchmark indices. The Sensex closed down at 874 points after falling around 1,100 points during trade. The Nifty closed down to 287 points. Of the 30 Sensex stocks, just 8 were in the green today. Leading the sentiment and the fall were Adani Group shares, which have lost a whopping 4 lakh crore rupees in market values in the past 2 trading days. Today, 6 of the Adani Group shares, Wilmar, Power, Green Energy, Transmission, Total Gas and NDTV fell to their lower circuits of 5 and 20%. Ambuja Cement, ACC and Adani Ports were around 15%. This comes even as reports emerged of market regulator SEBI increasing scrutiny of deals by the group during the past year, and that the capital markets regulator will also study the report by the Hindenburg Research. Following the release of the research report, which sent Adani's stock plummeting, the Congress has launched a massive offensive against the Prime Minister and the BJP. At the center, or even the center, over their alleged close connections with the business group, and sought serious investigations into the matter by the Reserve Bank of India. I want to connect right now to my colleague Supriya Bhardwaj, who's joining us live. Supriya, the Congress is taking and building a political narrative on the story as well. We've seen it in the past. This time around, you had Jairam Ramesh tweeting out. You have, Randeep Surjewala, who's gone out, all out, in fact, attacking the government, the BJP, with this close connection with this particular business group.
Well, Preeti, on one hand, there was this bloodbath at the Dalal Street as far as the stocks concerning Mr. Adani's companies are concerned. On the other hand, Congress, which is the principal opposition party, has gone all out and launched a scathing attack on Prime Minister as well as Mr. Adani and the BJP, as well as the central government led by the BJP. Well, what has happened is that Mr. Jairam Ramesh released a press release where he said that usually the party refrain from commenting on any research report which is given by some hedge fund company or a research group, something on when the reports are released by them. But Mr. Adani is no other congregate, and he has close ties with Prime Minister Modi. This is the allegations leveled by Congress party and its topmost leaders. And I read and I quote Mr. Jairam Ramesh's statement where he has demanded a SEBI as well as RBI's probe into this entire issue which is happening at this moment. And he has said that we fully understand the close relationship between Adani Group and the current government, but it is incumbent on the Congress as a responsible opposition party to urge SEBI as well as RBI to play their role as roles in the financial system and to investigate these allegations in wider public interest. At the same time, now this is where the attack on the Prime Minister has happened from the AICC side, from the Congress side.
Right.
Mr. Jairam Ramesh has said, and I quote him in his statement, that for all its posturings about black money, has the Modi government chosen to turn a blind eye towards illicit activities by its favorite business groups? Going ahead, Mr. Jairam Ramesh has also, said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as well as the government which is there, at the center, the India government, they have to actually come out and tell as to what exactly has happened. Mr. Jairam Ramesh, and I quote him, says, for all its posturing about black money, has the Modi government chosen to take a blind eye? This is one thing which they have said. And second thing they have said is there a quid pro quo? Will SEBI investigate these allegations to its fullest and not just in name? Finally, going one step ahead, Mr. Jairam Ramesh in a statement, as well as Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala, who have categorically mentioned certain questions and they both have said...
Meanwhile, Supriya, appreciate you joining us. On the other hand, the Adani Group has rejected the report, saying that it is examining legal options to take punitive action against the Hindenburg Research for its reckless attempt to sabotage a mega share sale at the flagship firm. Now, this is the response till now when the Adani Group is concerned. With that, a quick break to stay with us on the other side. It's our fact check segment.
Pakistan is in dire straits. The country is battling its worst economic crisis, which is worsening every day. Amidst this, the International Monetary Fund's decision to deny a lifeline to India's neighboring nation has come as a bolt from the blue for Islamabad. The IMF has turned down the Pakistan government's request for sending its team for the completion of the review to help the crisis-hit nation. Pakistan had approached various nations, including the IMF, requesting financial assistance to bail them out. Pakistan is battling a balance of payment crisis with foreign exchange reserves falling to $4.6 billion, barely enough to cover 3 weeks of imports. The Shehbaz Sharif government is considering different measures, including cutting down the salaries of government employees by 10% across the board. Apart from the economy, the country is facing a crisis on the political front also. The tussle between the Pakistan government and former Prime Minister Imran Khan is getting fierce. Pakistani authorities on Wednesday arrested senior leader of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Fawad Choudhry. The arrest of Fawad, a close aide of ousted Prime Minister Imran Khan, came amidst rumours that the government may arrest PTI chief and former Prime Minister Imran Khan.
पुलिस ने हरासा शुरू कर दिया है. हमारे वर्कर्स के ऊपर 1-2 गिरफ्तारियां शुरू होगी और प्लान बन गया पकड़ने का. और ये जो फवाद चौधरी का हुआ है, तो ये अभी से ही पूरा प्री प्लान बना हुआ है. डाल दे जेल में. कितनों को डालेंगे? इसलिए मेरी कौम, आपको अगर अपने आप को बचाना है, आपको अल्लाह के हुक्म पे चलना पड़ेगा, इंसाफ के साथ खड़ा होना पड़ेगा.
The arrest of Fawad further deepens the political fault lines in Pakistan, where the Khan-led opposition is demanding snap polls. Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome back. You're watching a fact-check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp group. There's a claim suggesting that the photo of Rahul Gandhi with BBC Modi film producer, the fact-check on that, Rahul Gandhi clicked this picture with Labour Party's Jeremy Corbyn. Nothing to do with the BBC film producer of the documentary on the Prime Minister Modi. Fake news being peddled there. With that, a quick break. Stay with us. On the other side is To The Point.
Growth outlook for India's economy is probably one of the best that I have seen. And I think there are two clear takeaways post-COVID. One, the outsourcing of services will become very broad-based, because as remote working has become acceptable, and as the Western world is aging and India continues to add to a young workforce, I think it will throw up a lot more opportunities to create white-collar jobs through offshoring in a very diverse range of areas. And I think that is good for medium to long-term economic growth. The second, I think India is clearly now competitive in manufacturing wages across Asia. So 10 years back, we were 2x of Vietnam. Today, we are at par with Vietnam. 10 years back, we were 30% higher than China. Today, we are we were 30% lower than China. Today, we are half of China's wages. Apart from that, I think China plus one and geopolitical need to de-risk beyond China, I think will bring in greater investments into India by way of FDI. So I think the medium to long-term economic growth outlook of India is, to my mind, extremely positive.
Everyone's right now looking to what's happening in the West, and with the tech winter and the kind of sell-off we're seeing on Wall Street. So talking about valuations, the topple-down effect is happening already. How much of that is going to hit us back home here in India?
So if we look at the Western world, we have seen positive rates coming in after a long time. So just about 12 months back, you had trillions of dollars worth of sovereign bonds trading at negative yields, which was never heard of in the past. Now, we are at a scenario where rates are probably 4%, 5% kind of thing in developed worlds for the short-term bonds. So really, money which had no business to be in equities is now going back to fixed income securities. Also, so much of easy money really led to this frothy environment where you had especially in the private space, where businesses with no prospects of earnings got funded, and people were really spinning stories around that. So the sell-off has been brutal. I think the traditional companies which have genuine business models and which are throwing out free cash flow, they'll bounce back and probably go back to their all-time highs. But the companies with very shaky fundamentals will probably have to go into liquidation because additional funding rounds will not come in. So we are seeing a scenario where new funding rounds are happening at lower valuations than the previous funding rounds. We have seen in the public market space also, where after listing we have seen sell-offs both in the Western world and in India as well. So it will be difficult times for those kind of companies.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. Our top focus comes in from the Bharat Jodo Yatra in its final chapter in Jammu and Kashmir. The Yatra in its last leg is in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. On Friday, Congress alleged a massive lapse in security arrangements for the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. Meanwhile, as the Kashmir police denied any such breach in security, it all got very political very quickly. In midst of heavy snowfall, biting cold, the Bharat Jodo Yatra in its final chapter started from Banihal towards Srinagar. Till Kazi Kunj, all was well, other than inclement weather. Walking alongside Rahul was former JNK CM and Vice President of the NC, Umar Abdullah. 1 kilometer inside Kazi Kunj and chaos. Rahul Gandhi abandons the Yatra, leaves for Anantnag in a police vehicle. Congress alleges a massive security lapse and announces the Yatra will be halted till proper security arrangements are made.
Last 15 minutes, there is no responsible police officer of security officer, and there is no proper safeguarding measures. What they have done earlier, totally withdrawn. Everybody knows that this is the most sensitive area. Why they are doing like this? Why they are doing like this? This is totally an irresponsible stand by the security forces.
The Congress leaders stopped the Yatra saying there was zero security and this was a serious security lapse. After half an hour wait, now you're seeing that amidst heavy security presence, the Yatra is actually moving ahead.
In Kazi Kunj, the Bharat Jodo Yatra marched on without Rahul Gandhi later, till Rahul reappeared and levelled grave charges. That there were inadequate security arrangements. There were security lapses by the administration in sensitive areas.
आज काफी बड़ा रिसेप्शन यात्रा के शुरुआत में हुआ टनल के बाद, और टनल के बाद जो पुलिस अरेंजमेंट था वो बिल्कुल कोलैप्स कर गया, और जो पुलिस वाले क्राउड को कंट्रोल करते हैं, रस्सियों को मैनेज करते हैं, वो या चले गए या दिखे नहीं। तो मेरी जो सिक्योरिटी डिटेल थी, उन्होंने हमें कहा कि हमें आगे नहीं चलना चाहिए।
Rahul Gandhi stated he will join the Yatra again on Saturday, but security remains a concern.
एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की जिम्मेदारी है कि जो क्राउड कंट्रोल होता है, पुलिस का जो रोल होता है, उसको गारंटी करें। मुझे मालूम नहीं क्यों हुआ, बट कल और परसों ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए।
The Kashmir Zone Police shortly tweeted, taking on the Congress claim of a security lapse, saying adequate security was there. However, the organizers did not inform the police of a sudden swell in numbers at Banihal. The security lapse charge quickly turned political.
A decision had to be taken instantaneously, which was taken by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his security team, that keeping in mind the huge crowds, but the sparse security forces that it is better that he completes this 13-kilometer stretch by road.
जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता ने जब श्री राहुल गांधी जी की इस यात्रा से दूरी बना ली तो श्री राहुल गांधी जी ने सुरक्षा का बहाना लगाकर एक प्रोपेगेंडा किया, दुष्प्रचार किया और अपनी यात्रा को स्थगित किया। सुरक्षा की यहाँ तक बात है, पुख्ता सुरक्षा के इंतजाम श्री राहुल गांधी जी की यात्रा के संदर्भ में पूरे जम्मू कश्मीर में है।
Umar Abdullah also stepped in defense of Rahul Gandhi.
मैं इस यात्रा में जुड़ा हुआ हूं क्योंकि जो मकसद इस यात्रा का है इस मुल्क को जोड़ना और एक पैगाम भेजना कि हम सब एक साथ मिल जाने चाहिए, मैं उस पैगाम को लेके इस यात्रा के साथ जुड़ा हुआ हूं।
It's the last 2 days of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, set to culminate on 30th January with Rahul Gandhi unfurling the tricolour at the Congress office in Srinagar. The Jammu Kashmir leg has not been devoid of one controversy a day. Will the next 2 days be uneventful? Bureau Report, India Today. So the moot question this time around, viewers, has been what the Congress claims huge security lapse when it comes down to the Jammu Kashmir police, who's turned around and said not a security lapse, it was a communication lapse at the hand of none else but the Congress. They did not inform the local police that there's going to be a groundswell of sorts at Banihal, where the yatra started today from Banihal to Qazi Kunz. Which one was it? Let's bring in our guest this evening, Eshwaranandapuri, former IPS, Special Director, Intelligence Bureau, former Secretary Security, Central Information Commissioner joins us. So does Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, and Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst. If our political guests allow us, I want to bring in Mr. Azad first. Mr. Azad, you know, what's interesting is, the fact is Rahul Gandhi gets Z plus security. There is a security cordon that travels through him or has travelled with him for the entire duration of this yatra. Where was the communication lapse as per the local police? Because the Congress claims the outer cover completely disappeared, and that is when Rahul Gandhi took that decision in accordance with his Z plus security and left the yatra in a bulletproof vehicle.
Preeti, you know, I find this a very strange situation of lack of miscommunication. First, let me say that the arrangements which have been made both in Jammu and in Kashmir have been pretty adequate. If you look at the involvement and the deployment, it's pretty heavy. It's 15 coys of the CAPF. It's about 10 coys or around that of Jammu and Kashmir police. There is ridge domination, there is a route domination, and there are other kinds of deployment which I wouldn't like to talk about here. So, and in Jammu also it was there. And then finally, when he entered Kashmir, the thing which I heard from Mr. Rahul Gandhi was that the outer cordon, that is the rope line, which is around the yatra, wasn't there. Now the police admits that there was a groundswell of people and there were many, many people. So the question is that obviously there is some lack of communication. I don't know what has really happened, because otherwise it's quite apparent, because the police has also said that we are willing to give security, and I think it is in the interest of the present regime in Kashmir to give adequate security, because in a democratic country, I mean, it should be everywhere, it should be allowed, it should be a show of democratic might. So my conclusion is that in this case, there has been definitely some miscommunication. I won't blame it, because from the either side, is it in the interest of the regime to give security? And of course, from the other side, it's a great success for the yatra that there were so many people joining him in Kashmir proper.
Tehseen Poonawala, if there was a communication lapse and not really an orchestrated security lapse, did the Congress party somewhere down the line, we heard Mr. Venugopal also, make it political?
Preeti, thank you so much for having me on the show. And at the onset, thank you to Mr. Azad for his services to our country. There are two issues that I want to highlight. issue number one, let's also understand that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is a man under a lot of threat. His father and his grandmother have been martyred for this country, and therefore he enjoys the security cover that the Honorable Home Minister of India enjoys, that same level of security cover. So there has to be, he's a marked man. Point number two, the Jammu and Kashmir police, a very professional force, is on record saying there was a groundswell of support for the Bharat Jodo Yatra. This leads to two pertinent questions. Did the Jammu and Kashmir police not anticipate it? Was it not a local intelligence failure then? Point number one. Point number two, and Mr. Azad will bear me out, even if there is a communication gap, and let me say this very humbly, it is not from Mr. Rahul Gandhi or Mr. K.C. Venugopal to communicate it to the Jammu and Kashmir police. There is local administration, there is CRPF that protects Sri Rahul Gandhi, and there is a multitude of organizations that are involved in security for somebody who's so highly protected. It is their professional assessment and they have to communicate it. So it is a communication between two agencies that needs to be questioned. Please understand that the CRPF has not counted Mr. Gandhi and said, look, there was Jammu and Kashmir police in adequate numbers. They are sticking by it by saying, we advise Mr. Gandhi not to continue on this yatra because there was a lapse in security, something even Mr. Omar Abdullah has testified to. That brings me to my third point and my last point. We all remember when the Honorable Prime Minister was stuck in Punjab, and all of us together said that when it comes to security for our top national leaders, there must be absolutely no compromise, whether it's Congress or BJP. And therefore, what the BJP said then, there should be no politics. My advice to the BJP with folded hands is, don't do politics now. There can be no lapse. Whether it is Shri Narendra Modi ji, where, the person came to garland Mr. Modi recently in Varanasi, and we know that an ex-prime minister lost his life when he was garlanded, and may God give Mr. Modi a very long and healthy life, or whether it's Shri Rahul Gandhi, we must not accept any lapse, because Mr. Azad will bear testimony. A 1 second lapse, a 1 microsecond lapse will be the difference between life and death. And we are a great democracy which will not allow our leaders or our opposition leaders to go to this.
Just, a small correction. The Garland incident which happened with the Prime Minister happened in Karnataka, not Varanasi, but
I'm sorry, I
points made. No problem. I just to be factually correct. Yeah, I just wanted to...
You got the gist of what I said.
Yes,
but there was also a lapse in Varanasi. Sorry, there was also a lapse in Varanasi where somebody entered his convoy.
I want to bring in Sanju Verma into this. Sanju Verma, if the Congress is seeming to politicize, is what the BJP says, the BJP hasn't been far behind doing so. Many of your leaders have come out and said that there were no people, therefore Rahul Gandhi fled the yatra. It's a sensitive issue. Why bring politics in all of it? This was at the advisory of the Z Plus security, which is governed by the CRPF, that Rahul Gandhi actually left the yatra. If he hadn't done so, then, the politics would have been that Rahul Gandhi did not pay heed to his own security.
Okay, Preeti, this is a very sensitive issue, and before I, make some pertinent points, the BJP, and of course, I speak for the BJP, we wish Rahul Gandhi a long and healthy life, barring keeping aside our political and ideological differences, whatever they may be. I just want to say a couple of things here. You raised a very pertinent point. Was this, just a communication lapse? Was this a deliberate and willful orchestrated security lapse? I have this to say, and I say this with a lot of responsibility, Preeti. This was neither a communication lapse, nor was this an orchestrated security lapse. I want to quote the Kashmir Zonal Police, and the Kashmir Zonal Police reports to the highest authority, which is the DGP of Jammu and Kashmir Police, in this case, Mr. Dilbag Singh, and the IGP, Mr. Vijay Kumar. When the Kashmir Police has tweeted, I think we need to take that on board without being doubting Thomases. They have clearly said that only authorized persons as identified by the organizers, the Congress top brass in this case, and the crowd that was already frisked, they were the ones who were allowed inside towards the route of the yatra. Organizers and managers of BJY did not intimate about the large gathering from Bani Hall joining the yatra, which thronged the yatra near the starting point. So A, there was no communication of people joining Rahul Gandhi's BJY from Bani Hall. Point number two, Rahul Gandhi and his security and his administrative staff, Jairam Ramesh, the entire paraphernalia, did not even bother to inform the J&K police, which is what they are supposed to do, that Rahul Gandhi was summarily ending his yatra at Kazigund. Point number 3, and the most important one. Preeti, I have been with Tehseen Poonawalla on various debates, including debates after that horrific lapse on 5th January 2022, when Charanjit Singh Channi of the Congress was the Chief Minister of Punjab. And I clearly remember, because I have an excellent memory, Tehseen Poonawalla clearly saying that the Punjab dispensation has nothing to do with the PM security, despite the fact that the PM's cavalcade was stuck for more than 20 minutes near the Bhatinda flyover within less than 10 kilometers of Pak artillery range. You know what Tehseen said then? And that is what the entire Congress brass said. Official and unofficial spokespersons who tout themselves as political analysts, they said, you know, the PM security is determined as per the blue book. So what if the Chief Secretary did not receive frantic phone calls? So what if the DGP of Punjab did not respond to frantic phone calls of the SPG? So what if Chief Minister Channi did not, go and welcome the Prime Minister as is customary? Though after 2 hours he was seen attending press conferences, while saying that I could not meet the Prime Minister because mujhe corona hua tha.
Okay, Sanjay Verma, you've made a charge. Tehseen wants to come in for a rebuttal. I'll allow him that, and I'll go to Mr. Azad then. Tehseen, very quickly, Sanju Verma has, leveled charges against your own perspective, which has clearly shifted in exactly a year, is what she says, along with, a borderline personal jibe as well. Go ahead, Tehseen.
Personal jibe's always good. It shows that I'm a superstar. But the larger issue is this. Look, even when the Honorable Prime Minister was stuck in Punjab, I said one thing, that it was ridiculous that the Honorable Prime Minister was stuck on a highway for 20 minutes. And somebody whose wife's family has seen some amount of SPG security, I said it then and I'm saying it now, that the SPG should have got the Honorable Prime Minister out, irrespective of what Punjab police did or no. You cannot have an SPG protectee stuck at one place for 20 minutes. Pakistan's across the border. They had drones. They could use anything against the Honorable Prime Minister. I stick to that position. And the Supreme Court has now looked into that matter. Now I'm coming to Sri Rahul Gandhi, and I'm again saying there should be no politics. In this particular case, Mr. Gandhi's security asked him he cannot do that, and he complied, just as the Honorable Prime Minister complied when his security said so in Punjab. So let's come to one issue. I repeat the point that is not being addressed to the elephant in the room. It is not Mr. Gandhi, Mr. KC Venugopal, etc. who go to the police. The list that is given to the police or to the administration, to the CRPF, is of the Bharat Jodo Yatris who are registered. The rest of them, obviously, it's a Pad Yatra. Obviously, people are going to come in thousands and in lakhs or in hundreds or whatever that may be the number based on the success to see him, to join him. I mean, if Shah Rukh Khan comes, there's going to be a crowd. If Rahul Gandhi and Modi ji walks on the street, there's going to be an even bigger crowd. That's common sense. There is local intelligence. There are a multitude of agencies. There's army, there is Delhi police, there's Jammu and Kashmir police, there's CRPF, there's other local intelligence units, there's anti-terror units out there. I mean, there has to be communication between them.
Okay.
They are the ones. How can you not anticipate
Tehseen, hold on to that thought. I want to bring in Mr. Azad back into this conversation. And Mr. Azad, when you look at it as a pure security expert, because, one can, read politically into this till kingdom come, but ultimately, what do you think really went down? Because if there was a groundswell of sorts, why is it that A, it wasn't anticipated by the local police, and B, that the CRPF, who actually mans the Z plus security, didn't quite communicate and handle it with the local police?
Well, there are a couple of issues here, and let me say the political comments are extraneous to the security issue. You see, the first thing is, whenever a Z plus security is on the move, there are two things. One, if he is moving individually and whichever area he goes into, the CRPF has to do a liaison with the state government or the state police and do the appropriate arrangements. But when there is a yatra involved, this is a very, very difficult security management issue. So when you are on a yatra like this, then it is not only a liaison between the CRPF team and the state police, but the intelligence agencies and other issues also get into, especially in a place like J&K. Now, the first point is definitely there must have been a liaison between the CRPF and the state police on the issue. As to what is the reason for the CRP to advise the inner core, why it advised Rahul Gandhi for not carrying forward the yatra, I don't know, except for one line which came in Mr. Rahul Gandhi's statement, which said that the rope line strategy was not working, which means that the inner group of people, the very 5 people who are inside the rope line, the rope line itself disappeared. which means that the outer people who had come started mingling with the inner people. That is the issue.
Right.
So in this respect, this is the crux of the security which is there. But I would not say anything more unless there is an inquiry as to why this happened. And I'm sure this has happened because of miscommunication, because it's not that the police would not be wanting to provide security, because they had been doing it.
But the fact is, you know, Sanju Verma, the matter is so sensitive that whether there was a communication lapse, ultimately something was lost in translation, and what transpired was, and you know, it's a very good thing that an immediate call was taken to remove Rahul Gandhi from what could have been unsafe for him.
You know, Preeti, I will borrow that phrase of yours. It's quite interesting. What was lost in translation? You know, what should not be lost in translation is the fact that Rahul Gandhi and his Putteri Jairam Ramesh included have been making spurious, reckless and baseless allegations. Need I remind you, Preeti, though you are a seasoned journalist and I'm sure you're aware, that on the 23rd of December, barely a few weeks back, Rahul Gandhi and his team said that the Haryana police had not provided security to BJY when it went to Haryana. On 28th December, Rahul Gandhi accused Amit Shah and the Union Home Minister and his office of not providing adequate security to BJY in Delhi. So there have been a series of unfounded allegations which are yet to be proved true. And I'll just end by saying one small thing. Preeti, please. Tehseen, I did not disturb you. I want to just say this to you, Preeti. If you look at the second tweet by the Kashmir Zonal Police, that's very important. Full security arrangements were made in place, including 15 companies of CAPF, 10 companies of J&K Police, comprising of quick reaction teams, route domination, lateral deployment of special forces. Special forces are used only in extreme internal security related matters, but that is also provided to Rahul Gandhi.
I'll just take one line.
All right, okay, just one line. Tehseen, I need to end the show.
Just one line. Shri Rajiv Gandhi ji's SPG was withdrawn and he was given state and Z security, and he lost his life when there was a security breach for a matter of 30 or 40 seconds. His body couldn't be identified, it had to be stitched together. Let's not take national security of anybody,
with that,
life security of any of our national leaders.
All right, okay, let's just,
That's so unfair, Sanju.
Okay, let's just end it there. Let's just end it there. Okay. You know, ultimately, these are very, very sensitive issues, and I think Mr. Azad, would subscribe to that. That ultimately, what went down, was it, a communication lapse, whatever it was. The fact is that Rahul Gandhi was removed from it, and with the immediacy that he was, is notable. But last 2 days, viewers, left of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Let's hope everything goes uneventful, at least in terms of a security breach, because there have been many instances that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has been dogged with when it comes down to security breach. With that, a quick break. Stay with us. Up next is Mood of the Nation.
Ramdeo, you've had a very long career in the market. How do you do it? Because every year there is some distraction. Sometimes it is digital stocks, which you may or may not own, which are going up. Sometimes it's commodities which are having a bull run, which you may or may not have. Do you just say, I forget the noise and stick to my 20 stocks, which I know? Because it's easier said than done, right?
So I'm more like if you ask me personally, I'm more like a prop investor who doesn't care so much about 12 months appraisal. And I'm buy and hold. And the longer run, if there is in the QGLP framework, if you have bought good quality stocks at reasonable good price, and your holding period is long. See, even if you get the price wrong to start with, but if your holding period is 10, 15, 20 years, then what happens is that even if you have paid a little more, it doesn't hurt. The growth G is equal to R. That's what I practice, and it used to work very well. But what has happened is that the kind of stock prices we have seen in last 5-7 years, even today, is absolutely absurd. We used to get good stocks in 90. Our problem is that we have seen 40 years of the market. And we have seen Asian Paints at 17, 18 P multiple, and we didn't want to pay 15, 16. That's the kind of history we started with. Then it became 22, 25. Now you are talking about 80 or 100. That doesn't fit into my psyche. So that's a bigger challenge. How do you buy at 80p and still make money? That doesn't work with me.
I know, but sometimes does it lead to you making mistakes? Like last year, you did buy some digital stocks. Do you regret that? Was that a mistake?
Yeah, that was a clear mistake.
Which one did you buy?
I bought Zomato.
Only Zomato?
Only Zomato.
If you on hindsight, would you have bought it, or you should have not have ventured?
I should have not even bothered. See, actually, I don't bother about any IPO.
Why did you buy it then?
But
it's
not my fund managers, they were on my head. They were telling me, sir, use your office to get some allocation. I'm telling you, this is the truth. So, then for me also to pick up the phone and talk to the company, they convinced me, sir, this is a terrific thing. So that's how, and then you get sucked in. One guy, two guys, they have better degrees than me. So, you start, and then environment is like that. There's so much of demand. The management is worshipped. They don't come to Mumbai. They have to come and meet. They don't even declare quarterly results properly. They have their own formats. All kinds of nonsense. And still you get into that. See, that optimistic market, you get this. Last time in 2008, I got sucked into Central Bank of India. Can you believe this?
Central Bank of
India?
Central
Bank of India. At the peak of 2008 boom, I ended up buying Central Bank big time. So you get sucked in. Because then right now nobody wants to believe PSU Bank. I'm telling you, in 2 years' time, the most coveted blue chips will be PSU banks.
Will be?
PSU banks.
Seen Siddharth Anand's previous work, if you have watched Bang Bang, if you've watched War, you know that he is well known. He's famous for these well choreographed action sequences. And a lot of them are actually inspired by Hollywood films like Fast and the Furious, Mission Impossible, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So it came to me as no surprise that 90% of the film is basically action. There is one sequence after another. And few sequences for me actually stood out as a sore thumb. I did feel like special effects, the VFX department could have worked harder on these sequences, especially at a time when we are watching so much Hollywood, right? We are watching international films, we are watching James Bond, we are watching so much international stuff. I felt that few action scenes, especially one scene where John and Shah Rukh are dangling from two helicopters or from one helicopter, that I felt was a little weak. Yes, I mean, otherwise the film it basically rides on action. It's an action extravaganza. It took Shah Rukh Khan almost 32 years to get a bona fide action film.
Tushar, I seriously feel that Pathaan doesn't need any ratings. I mean, look at the fans going crazy for him and SRK, Pathaan and everybody in the film. I mean, this film doesn't need any ratings, right?
Controversy, no controversy, orange bikini, no orange bikini. I think if you want to have a good time, if you want to see Shah Rukh Khan back in action, you might not like the film, you might not like his performance, you might not like what he says or does, but there is no denying the star power of Shah Rukh. The minute he's back on the big screen, and he's never been presented like this. This is the first time he's been presented. The script has been written around him like a true-blooded action hero. He's blazing his guns out. He's obviously worked hard on his body. The voice, the baritone that he uses from the opening frame to the last, he's been so consistent.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome once again to part 2 of India Today's Mood of the Nation survey, brought to you in collaboration with Sea Voter, India's most definitive opinion tracker that gives you a sense of what is the mood of the nation on the big issues of our times.
We looked at the big numbers for Lok Sabha projections, what might happen if elections are held today. Now, in this India Today cover, we're looking at the state of the economy. The Modi government's handling of the state of the economy. A quick note to our viewers about the methodology adopted by Sea Voter to bring these numbers together for the India Today group. This poll was conducted between the 15th of December and the 15th of January. There are 35,909 respondents spread across 543 Lok Sabha constituencies. An additional 105,000 responders are from the Sea Voter CATI telephonic survey. So that gives it an aggregate of 140,000 plus respondents. So Rajdeep, it's a big poll. We've looked at the political numbers. We look at economy and COVID now.
That's right, because remember, most people tend to believe that the economy remains an issue of critical importance to impact all areas of our lives. So what is the NDA's, how is the NDA's handling of the economy being perceived in a post-COVID world? In January 2021, good was 66%. Now, a year later, it is 54%. So actually, the one area where the NDA's performance has dipped in a year is its handling of the economy from 66% to 54%, but up compared to August 2022,